Welcome, everyone. I'm Ryan, your host, and I'm thrilled to have you all here for the very first episode of our cozy little corner of the internet. Whether you're tuning in on your morning commute, unwinding after a long day, or just need some company while you're doing the dishes, I'm glad you're spending this time with me. So before we dive into today's main topic, I wanted to share a little something that's been on my mind recently. It's one of those small moments that makes you pause and think. The other day, I was catching up with an old friend of mine. Let's call him Mike. We hadn't talked in a while, and as we were chatting, he mentioned how he's been getting into bird watching. Now, this is a guy who, just a few years ago, couldn't sit still for 5 minutes. Always on the go, always looking for the next adventure. And now, he's got binoculars and a bird guidebook, and he's spending his Saturday mornings in a park, quietly observing the world around him. It got me thinking about how our interests evolve over time, sometimes in ways that surprise even us. I mean, I never would have pegged Mike for a birdwatcher. But there's something so pure about the way he described it, the peace he finds in it, the sense of being connected to something bigger than himself. It made me wonder, how many of us have these unexpected passions lying dormant, just waiting for the right moment to bloom? How life can sometimes surprise us with unexpected passions. Those interests that seem to come out of nowhere but feel like they've been a part of us all along. You know, it's funny how life works. We often think we have ourselves all figured out. We go through our days with a sense of certainty about who we are and what we enjoy. But every now and then, something clicks and we discover a new passion that we never even knew was in us. It's like a seed that's been buried deep, just waiting for the right conditions to sprout. Take my friend Mike, for example, the guy who used to be all about thrill-seeking and living in the fast lane. If you had told me 5 years ago that he'd find joy in sitting quietly and watching birds, I would have laughed. But there he is, finding peace and fulfillment in something completely new. And it's not just about bird watching, it's about how it's changed him. He's more patient, more observant, and oddly enough, more content. It made me reflect on how we all have these parts of ourselves that we haven't tapped into yet. Maybe it's because we're too busy, too set in our ways, or just not open to trying something new. But these passions are there, waiting for us to notice them. And when we do, they can bring a whole new dimension to our lives. Think about it. What's something you've always been curious about but never gave yourself the chance to explore? Maybe it's painting, gardening, writing, or even something as niche as bird watching. What's holding you back? Is it fear of failure, or maybe the idea that it's too late to start something new? I think we all need to remind ourselves that it's never too late to discover a new part of who we are. These unexpected passions can be more than just hobbies. They can be a source of joy, a way to connect with others, or even a new path in life. Sometimes they might just pop up when we least expect them, like when Mike got tired of the chaos and craved a little serenity. And sometimes we have to seek them out, give ourselves permission to try something different, even if it feels a little out of character. So here's a little challenge for you. Think about that one thing you've been putting off because it doesn't fit into the box you've put yourself in. Take the first step, no matter how small. You might just discover a new passion that brings a whole new light to your life. And who knows, that dormant seed might just turn into the most beautiful bloom you've ever seen. You know, we often get caught up in the idea that trying something new requires a big, dramatic change. But the truth is, it doesn't have to be that way. Sometimes, all it takes is a small step, a tiny nudge in a new direction, to start uncovering a passion you never knew you had. Think about it like this. Imagine you're standing at the edge of a path you've never walked before. You don't know where it leads, and that uncertainty can be intimidating. But you don't have to sprint down that path. You don't even have to jog. Just take one step. Maybe it's signing up for a class, picking up a book on a subject you're curious about, or even just spending a few minutes exploring something online. That first step doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be taken. I've seen it happen so many times. People who hesitate to try something new because they feel like they need to be all in from the start. But that's not how it works. Passion is like a fire. It often starts with a single spark. That small step you take might seem insignificant at first, but it can ignite something much bigger, something that brings new energy and joy into your life. And here's the thing. You might stumble along the way, and that's okay. Every step, whether it's a success or a learning experience, brings you closer to understanding what lights you up inside. The important part is to keep moving forward, one small step at a time. So if there's something you've been curious about, maybe a hobby, a skill, or a side project you've always wanted to try, why not start today? You don't need a master plan or all the answers. Just take that first step. You might find that what started as a small curiosity turns into a full-blown passion that brings a whole new light to your life. Remember, it's not about the size of the step, it's about the direction you're heading. And who knows? That one small step could be the beginning of something truly amazing, right? Now, I want to shift gears and dive into something that touches all of us at some point or another, the psychology of nostalgia. Nostalgia is one of those fascinating emotions that can catch us off guard. One moment, we're going about our day, and the next, a song, a smell, or even a simple object can transport us back to a time long past. Suddenly, we're flooded with memories, feelings, and a deep yearning for something that once was. So, why do we yearn for the past? What is it about those memories that feels so powerful, so comforting? Well, let's break it down. At its core, nostalgia is a complex emotional experience that combines both positive and negative feelings. On the one hand, it's a longing for the past, a time that we often remember with a sense of fondness or even idealization. But on the other hand, there's a bittersweet element to it, a recognition that the past is gone and that we can't return to those moments no matter how much we might want to. From a psychological standpoint, nostalgia serves several important functions. One of the most significant is that it helps us maintain a sense of continuity in our lives. When we look back on past experiences, we're not just reminiscing, we're connecting the dots between who we were then and who we are now. It's like flipping through a photo album of our lives, where each picture tells a story of how we've grown, changed, and evolved over time. But there's more to it than just connecting the past to the present. Nostalgia can also be a powerful tool for coping with challenges in the here and now. When we're faced with stress, uncertainty, or even loneliness, nostalgic memories can provide comfort and reassurance. They remind us of times when we felt loved, secure, and happy, and that can give us the strength to face whatever we're dealing with today. Interestingly, nostalgia isn't just about the past. It also shapes our present and future. When we reflect on positive memories, we often bring those feelings into the present moment, which can boost our mood and increase our sense of well-being. It's like carrying a little piece of the past with us, using it as a source of positivity and resilience. And here's where it gets really fascinating. Nostalgia can influence our future decisions and behaviors. Think about it. When we look back on a time in our lives that we cherish, we're often motivated to recreate those feelings in the future. Maybe it's through reconnecting with old friends, revisiting a favorite place, or even pursuing a hobby that brought us joy. In this way, nostalgia can serve as a guide, helping us make choices that align with the values and emotions we hold dear. Of course, like any powerful emotion, nostalgia has its complexities. While it can be a source of comfort, it can also lead to a sense of longing or sadness if we get too caught up in what's gone. That's why it's important to strike a balance, appreciating the past for what it was, while also staying grounded in the present and open to the future. Nostalgia isn't all sunshine and roses. It has its complexities, and it's important to understand them so we can navigate our feelings in a healthy way. Nostalgia, as comforting as it can be, carries with it a certain weight. While it often brings a warm glow as we reminisce about the good old days, it can also stir up a sense of longing, a yearning for something that's no longer within our reach. It's that bittersweet edge to nostalgia that can sometimes lead us into a place of melancholy. You see, when we dive deep into nostalgic memories, we're not just revisiting the past, we're also reminded of what's changed, what's been lost, or what we can't go back to. This can be particularly poignant if those memories are tied to people or places that are no longer part of our lives. Maybe it's a childhood home that's been sold, a loved one who's passed away, or even a stage in life that we've moved beyond. These memories can evoke a sense of loss, making us wish we could turn back the clock. Now, there's nothing wrong with feeling that longing or sadness. It's a natural part of being human. But the challenge comes when we start to dwell too much on what's gone. If we spend too much time wrapped up in nostalgia, we might begin to idealize the past, convincing ourselves that things were better back then and that the present doesn't measure up. This can create a kind of emotional trap where we're so focused on what we've lost that we lose sight of what we have right now. It's a delicate balance, isn't it? On one hand, those nostalgic memories can bring us comfort and remind us of the good times we've had. But on the other hand, if we cling too tightly to those memories, we might start to feel disconnected from the present, or even become fearful of the future because it doesn't hold the same familiar comfort. So, how do we navigate this emotional landscape? The key is to embrace nostalgia without letting it consume us. It's about appreciating those memories for what they are, beautiful moments that have shaped us, but also recognizing that life is always moving forward. We can cherish the past, but we need to keep our eyes on the road ahead, ready to create new memories that will one day become just as precious. If you find yourself getting stuck in nostalgia, it can help to gently shift your focus back to the present. Ask yourself, what are the things in your life right now that bring you joy, comfort, and a sense of fulfillment? What new experiences can you seek out that might bring that same warmth and satisfaction? By grounding ourselves in the present, we can honor the past while also staying open to the possibilities of the future. Remember, nostalgia is like a double-edged sword. It can bring joy, but it can also cut deep if we're not careful. It's a reminder of where we've been, but it shouldn't keep us from moving forward. So, the next time you find yourself lost in a nostalgic moment, take a deep breath, smile at the memories, and then turn your gaze forward, ready to embrace whatever comes next. It sounds simple, yes, but in practice, it requires a bit of mindfulness and balance. Nostalgia, as we've discussed, is a powerful emotion. It's like flipping through a scrapbook of our lives, revisiting moments that made us who we are today. But here's the thing, those moments are just that, snapshots in time. They're important, yes, but they're also part of a larger story that's still being written. When we find ourselves lost in nostalgia, it's easy to start wishing we could relive those days. Or even worse, comparing our present to the past in a way that makes today feel inadequate. That's where the danger lies. When we start to idealize the past to the point that it overshadows our present and clouds our future. The key to navigating this emotional terrain is to appreciate those memories for what they are, beautiful, meaningful, and significant, but also to recognize that life is always moving forward. The past has shaped us, but it doesn't define us entirely. We are constantly evolving, and that means we have the capacity to create new memories, new moments of joy, and new experiences that will one day become just as cherished as the ones we hold dear now. One way to practice this is by finding ways to integrate the positive aspects of nostalgia into your current life. For example, if you find yourself missing the simplicity of childhood, maybe you can recreate that feeling by taking up a hobby that you loved as a kid, or by spending time with family in a way that brings back those warm, fuzzy feelings. The goal is not to live in the past, but to bring the essence of those good memories into the present, making them part of your ongoing journey. Another important aspect is to stay open to the future. It's easy to think that the best days are behind us, especially when we're feeling nostalgic. But the truth is, the future holds just as much potential for joy, love, and fulfillment as the past did, if not more. By keeping our eyes on the road ahead, we give ourselves the opportunity to continue growing, learning, and experiencing life in all its richness. This doesn't mean we should forget the past or ignore our feelings of nostalgia. On the contrary, those memories are a vital part of who we are. But they should be a source of strength and inspiration, not a barrier to moving forward. It's about finding that sweet spot where we can look back with fondness while still being fully engaged in the present and excited about the future. So, the next time you catch yourself reminiscing about the good old days, take a moment to appreciate those memories. Smile, laugh, maybe even shed a tear if it feels right. But then, Gently bring your focus back to where you are now. Ask yourself, what can I do today to create new memories that I'll cherish in the future? What steps can I take to ensure that my life continues to be filled with moments of joy and meaning? Life is a journey, and every chapter has its own unique beauty. By embracing nostalgia without getting stuck in it, we can honor our past while also making the most of our present and looking forward to the adventures that lie ahead. You know, it's easy to think of our lives as a series of chapters in a book. Each chapter represents a different time in our lives, our childhood, our teenage years, young adulthood, and so on. And just like in a good book, every chapter has its own highs and lows, its own unique flavor and lessons. When we talk about honoring our past, we're really talking about recognizing the value of those chapters, acknowledging the experiences that shaped us, the people who influenced us, and the moments that left a mark on our hearts. But honoring our past doesn't mean we live in it. It's about carrying those memories with us as we continue to write new chapters. The past is a part of us, but it's not the whole story. And that's where the present comes in. Making the most of our present is about being fully engaged in the here and now. It's about appreciating what we have right in front of us, the people in our lives, the opportunities we're given, the little moments of joy that happen every day. It's easy to overlook these things when we're caught up in either the past or worrying about the future. But the present is where life is actually happening. It's where we have the power to make choices, to take action, and to create new memories that we'll look back on with fondness. So how do we do this? How do we make the most of the present while still honoring our past? It starts with mindfulness, being aware of where we are right now, in this moment. It's about taking the time to appreciate the small things, like a conversation with a friend, a walk in the park, or even just a quiet moment of reflection. When we're mindful of the present, we're able to fully experience life as it's happening, rather than letting it pass us by. And then there's the future, the great unknown that's filled with potential and possibility. Looking forward to the adventures that lie ahead is all about hope and optimism. It's about believing that the best is yet to come, that there are still so many experiences to be had, people to meet, and lessons to learn. The future is a blank page, and we get to decide how we want to fill it. This doesn't mean we won't face challenges or setbacks, because we will. But it's our attitude toward the future that makes all the difference. If we approach it with a sense of excitement and curiosity, rather than fear or doubt, we open ourselves up to all the wonderful things that life has to offer. So, as we move forward, let's do so with a sense of balance. Let's honor our past by carrying the lessons and memories with us, but let's not be so anchored in it that we miss out on the beauty of the present. And let's embrace the future with open arms, ready for the adventures that await, no matter how uncertain they may seem. Remember, life is a journey with many twists and turns, but every step we take is a chance to create something new, something meaningful. So honor your past, live fully in the present, and look forward with hope and excitement to the road ahead. So, how do our memories of the past contribute to our sense of self, and how do they influence the decisions and behaviors we exhibit in the present? Let's break it down. Memory is an incredibly powerful tool. It's not just about recalling facts or events. It's about how those memories are woven into the fabric of our identity. Think about it. Every experience you've had, every interaction, every success, and every failure has left an imprint on you. These imprints collectively form the narrative you tell yourself about who you are. Let's start with the basics. Our memories are like a personal history book, recording the chapters of our lives. These memories aren't just stored away in some dusty corner of our mind. They're actively shaping how we see ourselves and the world around us. For instance, if you have fond memories of being praised for your creativity as a child, you might see yourself as a creative person today. On the flip side, if you were criticized for certain traits or behaviors, you might carry those labels with you, consciously or subconsciously. But it's not just about individual memories. It's about the patterns and themes that emerge over time. For example, someone who has consistently faced adversity but managed to overcome it might develop a strong sense of resilience. Their identity might be centered around being a survivor or a fighter. On the other hand, someone who has experienced repeated disappointments might struggle with self doubt, and that can become a part of their identity, influencing how they approach new challenges. What's fascinating is how selective our memories can be. We tend to remember things that align with our existing beliefs about ourselves. This is known as confirmation bias. If you see yourself as a compassionate person, you're more likely to remember instances where you acted kindly, and those memories reinforce that identity. Conversely, if you struggle with self worth, you might be more likely to recall memories that validate those feelings, which can keep you stuck in a negative self image. Our memories don't just shape who we are, they also guide our decisions and behavior in the present. Let's say you have a memory of failing at something important to you, like a school project or a job interview. That memory can create a fear of failure, which might hold you back from taking risks in the present. Or maybe you have a memory of a time when you stood up for yourself and it paid off. That memory can empower you to be assertive in similar situations today. It's also worth noting that our memories are not always accurate. They're influenced by our emotions, by the passage of time, and by how we've interpreted those events. This means that two people can have very different memories of the same event, each one shaping their identity in unique ways. The way we remember the past is often more about our present needs and emotions than about the objective truth of what happened. So, what does all this mean for us as we move forward in life? Well, it's a reminder that while our memories are an essential part of who we are, they don't have to define us entirely. We have the ability to reframe our memories, to focus on the lessons learned rather than the pain endured, and to use those memories as a springboard for growth rather than as an anchor that holds us back. By understanding how our memories shape our identity, we can start to take more control over that process. We can choose to emphasize the memories that empower us, that remind us of our strengths and our potential. And we can work to heal or reinterpret the memories that have kept us stuck in patterns of fear or self-doubt. Ultimately, our memories are a part of our story, but they're not the whole story. We are more than just the sum of our past experiences. We are also the authors of our present and future selves. By being mindful of how our memories influence us, we can make more conscious decisions about who we want to be and how we want to live. Now, this brings us to something incredibly important, the practice of mindfulness. How do we stay grounded in the present moment, appreciating the here and now, especially when our minds are so often pulled into the past or racing ahead to the future? Mindfulness is all about being fully present, fully engaged with whatever is happening right now. It's about paying attention to the moment without judgment, without letting our minds get swept away by worries, regrets, or distractions. And in a world that's constantly pushing us to think about what's next or what's already happened, mindfulness can be a powerful tool for grounding ourselves. So, what exactly is mindfulness, and how does it help us? At its core, mindfulness is about awareness, awareness of our thoughts, feelings, bodily sensations, and the environment around us. It's about noticing what's happening in the present moment without trying to change it or wishing it were different. Whether you're washing dishes, walking in the park, or having a conversation with a friend, mindfulness invites you to be fully there, in that moment, rather than letting your mind wander off. One of the most significant benefits of mindfulness is that it helps us break the cycle of rumination, the habit of overthinking, replaying past events, or worrying about the future. When we're mindful, we're not dwelling on what happened yesterday or stressing about what might happen tomorrow. Instead, we're giving our full attention to what's happening right now, which can be incredibly freeing. But mindfulness isn't just about avoiding negative thoughts. It's also about enhancing our appreciation of life's simple pleasures. When we're mindful, we notice things that we might otherwise take for granted. The warmth of the sun on our skin, the sound of birds singing, the taste of our morning coffee. These small moments, when fully appreciated, can bring a deep sense of joy and contentment. Moreover, mindfulness has a profound impact on our mental well-being. Numerous studies have shown that practicing mindfulness can reduce stress, anxiety, and depression. It helps us develop a greater sense of inner peace and resilience, allowing us to respond to life's challenges with a calm, centered mind rather than reacting impulsively or emotionally. When we're mindful, we're better equipped to handle whatever comes our way because we're not getting lost in a swirl of thoughts and emotions. Another aspect of mindfulness is that it helps us become more attuned to our bodies. By paying attention to physical sensations, we can recognize when we're feeling tense, tired, or stressed and take steps to address those feelings before they escalate. This mind body connection is crucial for maintaining overall health and well being. Mindfulness also fosters a greater sense of connection with others. When we're fully present in our interactions, we listen more deeply, empathize more fully, and communicate more effectively. This can strengthen our relationships as we're more attuned to the needs and emotions of those around us. So, how can we cultivate mindfulness in our daily lives? It doesn't require hours of meditation or a complete lifestyle overhaul. It can start with something as simple as taking a few deep breaths and noticing how your body feels, or paying attention to the sensations in your hands as you wash the dishes. The key is to bring your focus back to the present moment whenever you notice your mind wandering. There are also more structured ways to practice mindfulness, such as through meditation or mindful movement practices like yoga or Tai Chi. These activities train the mind to stay present, to observe thoughts and feelings without getting caught up in them. Over time, this practice can lead to a greater sense of clarity, calm, and balance in everyday life. Ultimately, mindfulness is about creating space in our minds and in our lives. Space to breathe, to think, to feel, and to be. It's about stepping out of the constant rush of thoughts and activities and allowing ourselves to simply be present in this moment right now. As we move through life, there will always be memories of the past and dreams for the future. But by cultivating mindfulness, we can stay grounded in the present, making the most of each moment as it comes. And in doing so, we not only improve our mental well-being, but we also create a life that's rich, full, and deeply connected to what truly matters. Another crucial aspect of living a balanced and fulfilling life is finding that delicate balance between nostalgia and progress. How do we appreciate our past without getting stuck in it, while also maintaining a forward-looking mindset that propels us into the future? It's a challenge we all face at some point, and it's worth unpacking. Nostalgia, as we've talked about before, is a powerful emotion. It can bring warmth, comfort, and a sense of continuity in our lives. But as comforting as it can be to look back on the past, there's a fine line between appreciating those memories and getting trapped by them. When we become overly fixated on the past, we risk losing sight of the opportunities and possibilities that lie ahead. Think of it this way. Nostalgia is like a favorite old song. When you hear it, you're instantly transported back to a time and place that holds special meaning for you. It's a beautiful experience, one that reminds you of who you were and what you've been through. But if you play that song on repeat over and over, it starts to lose its magic. Worse yet, you might miss out on discovering new songs, new experiences that could bring just as much, if not more, joy and fulfillment into your life. The key to balancing nostalgia and progress is to recognize the value of both. Our past is important. It's the foundation on which we've built our lives. It's filled with lessons, experiences, and memories that have shaped us into who we are today. But just as important is the need to keep moving forward, to continue growing, learning, and evolving. So, how do we strike that balance? How do we honor our past without getting stuck in it while still maintaining a forward-looking mindset? One approach is to practice intentional reflection. This means taking time to reflect on the past, not just in a wistful or sentimental way, but in a thoughtful, purposeful manner. Ask yourself, what lessons have I learned from my past experiences? How have they shaped my values, my goals, and my sense of purpose? By reflecting in this way, you're not just reminiscing. You're actively integrating your past into your present and future in a way that supports your growth. Another strategy is to set clear, forward-looking goals that align with your values and aspirations. When you have a sense of direction, it's easier to keep your eyes on the road ahead rather than getting caught up in the rearview mirror. These goals don't have to be grand or life-changing. They can be simple, meaningful steps that move you closer to the life you want to live. The key is to focus on progress, however small, and to celebrate those steps along the way. It's also important to stay open to change. As we progress through life, we inevitably encounter new experiences, challenges, and opportunities that shape us in unexpected ways. Embracing change, rather than resisting it, allows us to continue evolving and adapting. This doesn't mean forgetting the past, but rather building on it in a way that propels us forward. And let's not forget the power of community. Surrounding ourselves with people who support our growth and encourage us to pursue our dreams can make a world of difference. Whether it's friends, family, or mentors, having a support system that understands both where we've come from and where we're headed can help us maintain that balance between honoring the past and moving toward the future. Remember that it's okay to revisit the past from time to time, as long as you don't live there. Those moments of nostalgia can be like pit stops on your journey, places to rest, reflect, and recharge. But once you've taken what you need from those memories, it's important to get back on the road with your eyes firmly set on the path ahead. Balancing nostalgia and progress is about finding harmony between appreciating what has been and embracing what could be. It's about recognizing that our lives are a continuous journey, where the past, present, and future are all interconnected. By appreciating the past without getting stuck in it, and by maintaining a forward-looking mindset, we can create a life that's not only rich with memories, but also filled with endless possibilities. Now, as we continue this journey, there's another important aspect to consider: the way we reflect on our past and how it influences our present mindset. Specifically, I want to delve into the psychology of regret versus gratitude, two powerful emotions that can dramatically shape our outlook on life. Let's start with regret. We've all experienced it at some point: the feeling that we've missed an opportunity, made a wrong choice, or somehow fallen short of our expectations. Regret is a natural human emotion, and in small doses, it can be a helpful teacher. It can prompt us to reflect on our decisions, learn from our mistakes, and make better choices in the future. But when we dwell on regret, it can become a heavy burden, anchoring us to the past in a way that's difficult to escape. Dwelling on past regrets often leads to a cycle of negative thinking. We replay events over and over in our minds, wishing we could go back and change them. This rumination can lead to feelings of sadness, frustration, and even a sense of hopelessness. When we're caught in the grip of regret, it's easy to start believing that our best days are behind us, or that we've somehow missed our chance to live the life we wanted. But here's the thing: regret is only one side of the coin. On the other side is gratitude, a powerful emotion that can transform the way we see ourselves and the world around us. While regret focuses on what we've lost or what could have been, gratitude shifts our attention to what we have, what's good in our lives right now. Cultivating gratitude is about consciously choosing to focus on the positive aspects of our lives, no matter how small they might seem. It's about appreciating the people, experiences, and opportunities that bring us joy, fulfillment, and a sense of purpose. When we practice gratitude, we're training our minds to see the good, even in difficult situations. This doesn't mean ignoring the challenges or pretending everything is perfect, but rather acknowledging that there is always something to be thankful for. The emotional impact of regret versus gratitude is profound. When we focus on regret, we tend to feel stuck, weighed down by what we perceive as our failures or missed opportunities. But when we focus on gratitude, we open ourselves up to positivity, resilience, and hope. Gratitude has a way of lightening our emotional load, helping us to see the possibilities that still lie ahead, rather than the doors that have closed behind us. One of the most powerful aspects of gratitude is that it can actually change the way our brains work. Research has shown that regularly practicing gratitude can increase our overall sense of well-being, reduce stress and anxiety, and even improve our relationships. When we make gratitude a habit, we start to notice more of the good in our lives, which in turn makes us feel happier and more content. So how do we shift from regret to gratitude? It starts with awareness, recognizing when we're falling into the trap of regret and consciously choosing to redirect our thoughts. One simple yet effective practice is to keep a gratitude journal. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big things. Sometimes it's the small moments, like a kind word from a friend or a beautiful sunset, that make the biggest difference. Another approach is to practice gratitude in the moment. When you find yourself dwelling on a past regret, pause and ask yourself, what can I be thankful for right now? It might be something as simple as the comfort of your home and like the support of a loved one, or even the lessons you've learned from the very experience you're regretting. By shifting your focus to gratitude, you're not only easing the burden of regret, but you're also cultivating a more positive and hopeful outlook on life. Balancing regret and gratitude is about learning to honor our past without letting it define our future. It's about acknowledging the mistakes we've made, the opportunities we've missed, and the challenges we've faced, but choosing to focus on the good that still exists in our lives. By cultivating gratitude, we can create a mindset that's not only more positive and resilient, but also more open to the endless possibilities that lie ahead. Now, this naturally leads us into something that's deeply connected to our ability to move forward with grace and strength: the art of letting go. Letting go of past hurts, disappointments, and regrets is essential if we want to fully engage with the present and create a positive future. But as simple as it sounds, letting go can be one of the most challenging things we do. Why is letting go so difficult? Well, our past experiences, especially the painful ones, often leave a deep imprint on us. These experiences can shape our beliefs about ourselves, our relationships, and what we think is possible in our lives. When we've been hurt or disappointed, it's natural to hold on to those feelings as a way of protecting ourselves from future pain. But while holding on might feel like self-preservation, it can actually keep us trapped, unable to fully embrace the present or move forward into the future. The art of letting go starts with acknowledging that holding on to past pain is a choice. It might not feel like it sometimes, especially when the hurt is deep, but it's important to recognize that we have the power to choose how we respond to our past. We can choose to dwell on it, to let it define us, or we can choose to release it, making space for new experiences and opportunities. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or denying what happened. It's not about pretending that the pain wasn't real or that it didn't have an impact. Instead, it's about releasing the emotional grip that those experiences have on us. It's about deciding that we won't allow our past to dictate our present or our future. We acknowledge the hurt, we honor the lessons it taught us, but then we make a conscious decision to move on. One of the first steps in letting go is forgiveness, not just of others, but of ourselves. Sometimes, the hardest person to forgive is the one we see in the mirror. We might blame ourselves for decisions we made, for not seeing things coming, or for not being strong enough to prevent the hurt. But holding on to that self-blame only keeps us stuck. Forgiveness is about accepting that we did the best we could with what we knew at the time, and that it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to be imperfect. Another important aspect of letting go is shifting our focus from what we've lost to what we've gained. Every experience, no matter how painful, comes with its own lessons and growth. By focusing on what we've learned, on how we've grown, we can begin to see those experiences not as burdens, but as stepping stones on our journey. This shift in perspective can be incredibly empowering, helping us to move forward with a sense of purpose and strength. Mindfulness also plays a crucial role in the process of letting go. By staying present, we can gently bring our attention back to the here and now, whenever our mind starts to drift back to past hurts. When we practice mindfulness, we're not just escaping from our past, we're actively choosing to engage with the present. We're saying, this moment is what matters, and I'm not going to let the past take it away from me. It's also important to recognize that letting go is a process. It doesn't happen overnight, and it's not something we do just once. It's an ongoing practice of releasing, of choosing to let go every time those old feelings try to resurface. And that's okay. What's important is that we keep moving forward, one step at a time. The art of letting go is ultimately about freedom. Freedom from the chains of the past, freedom to live fully in the present, and freedom to create the future we desire. It's about trusting that by releasing what no longer serves us, we're making room for something better, something brighter, something that aligns with who we are now and who we're becoming. As we continue on this journey, let's make a commitment to ourselves to practice the art of letting go. Let's choose to release the past, to forgive, to focus on the good, and to stay present. In doing so, we open ourselves up to a future filled with possibility, joy, and the kind of life we truly want to live. But what comes next? How do we move forward in a way that not only honors the past, but also allows us to fully engage with the present and build a meaningful future? One powerful way to do this is by creating new traditions or rituals in our lives. Let's dive into how these practices can help us bridge the gap between where we've been and where we're headed. Traditions and rituals are more than just habits or routines. They're intentional practices that hold deep meaning for us. They can be as simple as a weekly family dinner or as elaborate as an annual celebration. What makes them special is the significance we attach to them, the way they connect us to our values, our loved ones, and our sense of self. When we create new traditions, we're not just filling time or creating structure. We're crafting a narrative that ties together our past, present, and future. These traditions give us something to look forward to, something to ground us, and something to carry with us as we move through life's changes. One of the beautiful things about creating new traditions is that they allow us to honor the past while also embracing the present. For example, maybe you have fond memories of a holiday tradition from your childhood, but your current circumstances are different. You might live far from family, or perhaps your life has taken a new direction. Instead of trying to replicate the old tradition exactly as it was, you can take the essence of what made it special and adapt it to your current life. This way, you're honoring those past memories while creating something that's meaningful for you now. Creating new traditions can also be a way to bring a sense of continuity and stability into our lives, especially during times of change. When everything else feels uncertain, having a tradition to hold on to can provide comfort and a sense of belonging. It's a way of saying, no matter what happens, this is something I can count on, something that anchors me. But traditions aren't just about looking back. They're also about looking forward. By establishing rituals that reflect who we are today and who we want to become, we're actively shaping our future. These new traditions can embody the values, goals, and dreams we have for ourselves and our loved ones, creating a legacy that we can pass on to future generations. For instance, if you're passionate about health and well-being, you might create a tradition of taking a family hike every weekend. If community service is important to you, maybe you start an annual volunteer day with friends. These traditions don't just reflect what's meaningful to you, they also reinforce those values and make them a tangible part of your life. And let's not forget the joy that comes from shared experiences. Traditions and rituals often involve others, family, friends, even coworkers. They bring people together, fostering connection and creating shared memories that strengthen our bonds. Whether it's a simple ritual like a morning coffee with a loved one, or a big event like a yearly reunion, these moments of togetherness are what life is all about. So, as we continue to navigate our journey, let's think about the new traditions we can create. What are the values you want to honor? What are the experiences that bring you joy, peace, or a sense of fulfillment? How can you turn those into traditions that will not only enrich your life now, but also carry forward into the future? Remember, traditions don't have to be grand or complicated. They just need to be meaningful to you. Start small if you need to. Maybe it's a monthly game night with friends, a solo walk in nature every Sunday, or a new way of celebrating birthdays that feels right for where you are now. The important thing is that these traditions reflect who you are and where you want to go. In creating these new rituals, we're not just building a life, we're crafting a story, one that honors our past, enriches our present, and sets the stage for a future full of meaning and connection. This naturally leads us to another powerful tool in our journey of self-discovery and growth, the power of reflection. Regularly reflecting on our past experiences, both the positive and the challenging, offers us invaluable insights that can inform our present and future actions. Let's dive into how reflection can shape our lives in meaningful ways. Reflection is like holding up a mirror to our lives. It's a process of looking back, not with the intention of dwelling on the past, but with the goal of understanding it better. By reflecting on our experiences, what went well, what didn't, what we learned, we can gain a clearer picture of who we are, what we value, and how we've grown over time. One of the primary benefits of reflection is that it helps us make sense of our past. Life is full of twists and turns, and not all of them make sense in the moment. But when we take the time to reflect, we can start to see patterns and connections that weren't obvious before. This can lead to deeper insights about why certain things happened the way they did and how those events have shaped our current path. For example, think back to a time when you faced a significant challenge or setback. In the moment, it might have felt overwhelming, even unfair. But as you reflect on it now, perhaps you can see how that experience taught you resilience, helped you develop new skills, or led you to opportunities you wouldn't have pursued otherwise. Reflection allows us to reframe our experiences, turning even the difficult moments into valuable lessons. But reflection isn't just about learning from the tough times. It's also about celebrating the positives. Reflecting on our successes, our joys, and our achievements reminds us of our strengths and capabilities. It reinforces the belief that we are capable of creating good in our lives and encourages us to continue striving toward our goals. These moments of reflection can be incredibly motivating, providing the fuel we need to keep moving forward. Another key benefit of reflection is that it helps us stay aligned with our values and intentions. In the hustle and bustle of everyday life, it's easy to lose sight of what's truly important to us. But when we regularly take time to reflect, we can check in with ourselves. Are we living in a way that aligns with our values? Are our actions supporting the life we want to create? Reflection helps us course correct when needed, ensuring that we're not just drifting through life, but actively steering our course. Moreover, reflection can guide us in making better decisions. By looking back at past choices and their outcomes, we can identify what worked and what didn't. This self-awareness allows us to approach new situations with greater clarity and wisdom, making decisions that are informed by our past experiences. It's like having a personal roadmap drawn from our own history to help navigate the journey ahead. Now, how do we incorporate reflection into our lives? It doesn't have to be a complicated process. It can be as simple as taking a few minutes at the end of each day to think about what went well, what could have gone better, and what you learned. Some people find it helpful to keep a journal, writing down their thoughts and insights as they reflect. Others might prefer to reflect during a quiet walk, a meditation session, or even a conversation with a trusted friend. The important thing is to make reflection a regular practice. The more we reflect, the more attuned we become to the lessons our experiences have to offer. It's not about dwelling on the past, but about using our past as a tool for growth and self-improvement. By reflecting regularly, we ensure that our past experiences continue to serve us, helping us to live more intentionally and purposefully in the present and to create a future that aligns with our true selves. In essence, reflection is a bridge between our past and our future. It allows us to honor where we've been, learn from our journey, and use those insights to inform the path ahead. As we continue to craft our story, reflection becomes an essential chapter, one that deepens our understanding of ourselves and enriches the narrative of our lives. But as we continue to craft our story, there's another key element we need to consider. How do we set future goals while staying fully present in the moment? It's a delicate balance, looking ahead with intention and ambition, while also appreciating and engaging with the life we're living right now. Let's dive into some strategies for achieving this balance. Setting future goals is vital for our growth and fulfillment. Goals give us direction, purpose, and something to strive for. They can be as big as pursuing a new career, starting a family, or traveling the world, or as simple as improving our health, learning a new skill, or spending more quality time with loved ones. Goals help us turn our dreams into reality, giving us a roadmap for the future we want to create. However, the challenge comes when we become so focused on our goals that we lose sight of the present. It's easy to get caught up in the pursuit of the next big thing, always looking forward to the next milestone, the next achievement, while forgetting to enjoy the journey itself. When this happens, we might find ourselves feeling stressed, anxious, or even unfulfilled, despite all our efforts to achieve our goals. So, how do we stay present while pursuing our future goals? One effective strategy is to break down our goals into smaller, manageable steps and to celebrate each step along the way. Instead of focusing solely on the end result, we can take time to appreciate the progress we're making. By acknowledging and celebrating each small victory, we stay engaged with the present moment, finding joy in the journey rather than just the destination. Another important approach is to practice mindfulness in our daily lives. Mindfulness, as we've discussed before, is about being fully present and engaged with the here and now. When we're mindful, we're more aware of our thoughts, feelings, and surroundings, which helps us stay grounded even as we work toward our future goals. This doesn't mean ignoring the future, but rather staying connected to the present moment as we move forward. A key aspect of mindfulness in goal setting is to periodically check in with ourselves. Are our goals still aligned with our values and what truly matters to us? Are we pursuing them in a way that honors our well-being and the people we care about? By staying attuned to these questions, we can ensure that our goals are not just about achieving something in the future, but about enriching our lives right now. It's also helpful to incorporate moments of reflection into our goal-setting process. Regularly reflecting on our progress allows us to adjust our goals as needed, based on our current circumstances and new insights. This flexibility helps us stay present, as we're not rigidly fixated on a future outcome, but are instead responsive to the unfolding of our lives. Another strategy is to set goals that enhance our daily experience rather than detract from it. For example, instead of setting a goal that requires constant sacrifice and stress, we can set goals that bring more joy, balance, and fulfillment into our everyday life. This could mean pursuing a passion project, building stronger relationships, or focusing on self-care, goals that make the present moment richer and more meaningful. It is essential to practice gratitude as we work toward our goals. Gratitude shifts our focus from what we don't have yet to what we already have, helping us appreciate the present while still being excited about the future. By regularly acknowledging the good in our lives, we stay connected to the present and cultivate a sense of contentment that carries us forward with positivity and resilience. Setting future goals while staying present is about finding harmony between where we want to go and where we are right now. It's about recognizing that life is not just a series of destinations, but a journey to be savored and appreciated every step of the way. By breaking down our goals, practicing mindfulness, reflecting regularly, and embracing gratitude, we can pursue our dreams without losing sight of the beauty and richness of the present moment. Now, as we continue this conversation, there's another intriguing aspect of our past that can play a powerful role in shaping both our present and future. Nostalgia. But not just any nostalgia. Specifically, how nostalgic memories can serve as a source of inspiration for creative endeavors and personal growth. Let's dive into how the echoes of our past can fuel our passions and guide our path forward. Nostalgia often gets a bit of a bad rap. It's sometimes seen as a longing for the good old days, a wistful gaze backward that can make the present feel less vibrant by comparison. But when harnessed in the right way, nostalgia can be much more than a simple yearning for the past. It can be a wellspring of inspiration, providing us with the creative spark or emotional insight we need to move forward in new and meaningful ways. Think about it. Nostalgic memories are often tied to moments of deep emotion, whether it's joy, love, wonder, or even sadness. These emotions are powerful, and when we tap into them, they can fuel our creativity in ways that are deeply authentic and resonant. For instance, a song that brings you back to a carefree summer day might inspire you to write a story, paint a picture, or start a new project that captures that feeling of freedom and possibility. Or a memory of a loved one might inspire you to create something in their honor, channeling those emotions into something beautiful and new. Nostalgia can also remind us of who we are at our core, what we value, what makes us feel alive, and what brings us joy. These memories can serve as a guide, helping us reconnect with passions or interests that we may have set aside as life became busier or more complicated. For example, remembering how much you loved to draw as a child might inspire you to pick up a sketchbook again, reigniting a creative passion that had been lying dormant. Beyond creative endeavors, nostalgia can also inspire personal growth. Our memories often contain lessons that we might not have fully appreciated at the time. By revisiting those moments with the wisdom and perspective we've gained over the years, we can uncover new insights that help us grow. Perhaps a difficult experience from the past now serves as a reminder of your resilience, inspiring you to tackle new challenges with confidence. Or maybe a cherished memory of a supportive community reminds you of the importance of building strong connections in your life today. One of the beautiful things about nostalgia is that it's uniquely personal. The memories that inspire you are tied to your own life experiences, making the creative work or personal growth that emerges from them deeply meaningful. When we draw on these memories, we're not just creating something new, we're weaving our past into our present, creating a rich tapestry that reflects the full spectrum of our experiences. But how do we consciously tap into nostalgia as a source of inspiration? One way is to set aside time for reflection, allowing yourself to revisit memories that hold special significance. This could be through journaling, looking through old photos, or simply spending time thinking about moments that have shaped you. As you do this, pay attention to the emotions that arise and consider how they might be channeled into your current projects or goals. Another approach is to surround yourself with reminders of the past that inspire you. This might be a piece of music, a photograph, or an object that holds sentimental value. By keeping these things in your environment, you create a space where nostalgia can naturally flow, sparking inspiration whenever you encounter them. It's also important to stay open to the idea that inspiration can come from even the smallest, most seemingly insignificant memories. A scent, a sound, or a fleeting image can trigger a flood of nostalgia that leads to unexpected creative or personal breakthroughs. By remaining attuned to these moments and allowing yourself to explore where they lead, you can uncover new sources of inspiration that enrich your life in profound ways. In the end, nostalgia isn't just about looking back. It's about using the richness of our past to enhance our present and fuel our future. It's a way of honoring the journey we've been on while continuing to move forward with purpose and creativity. So the next time you find yourself reminiscing, consider how those memories might inspire you to create something new, to grow in unexpected ways, or to reconnect with the passions that make life truly fulfilling. But as we reflect on the past and draw inspiration from it, we also have to recognize that our relationship with the past is not static. It evolves over time, especially in response to significant life changes. Whether it's moving to a new place, experiencing a loss, or going through personal growth, these changes can profoundly alter how we view our past. So let's talk about the impact of change on our relationship with the past and how we can adapt to these shifts while staying grounded in the present. Change is an inevitable part of life. It can come in many forms: a new job, a move to a different city, the end of a relationship, the loss of a loved one, or even a personal transformation that reshapes how we see ourselves and the world. These changes often lead us to revisit our past with fresh eyes, and in doing so, our relationship with those memories can shift. For example, moving away from a place you've called home for years can stir up a deep sense of nostalgia. The memories associated with that place, your favorite spots, the people you've known, the routines you've developed, can take on new significance once you're no longer there. You might find yourself idealizing those memories, feeling a longing for the comfort and familiarity you've left behind. But at the same time, moving can also highlight aspects of your past that you're ready to let go of, helping you to see your past experiences from a new perspective. Similarly, personal growth can change the way we relate to our past. As we evolve, we may start to see old memories in a different light. What once seemed like a defining moment might now feel less significant, or vice versa. This is a natural part of growing and changing. We reinterpret our past based on who we are in the present. The key is to recognize that this shift is not about erasing or diminishing our past, but about integrating it into our current life in a way that feels true to who we've become. Loss, too, can have a profound impact on our relationship with the past. When we lose someone important to us, our memories of them often become even more precious. We might cling to those memories as a way of keeping that person close, or we might struggle with feelings of regret or unresolved emotions. It's during these times that our relationship with the past can feel particularly complex. Adapting to these changes requires a balance of honoring the memories while also allowing ourselves to move forward, finding new ways to stay connected to what was while embracing what is. So, how do we adapt to these changes in our relationship with the past while staying grounded in the present? One important strategy is to practice acceptance. Change is often accompanied by a mix of emotions: grief, nostalgia, excitement, and uncertainty. By accepting these feelings as a natural part of the process, we can navigate the transition with greater ease. Acceptance doesn't mean we have to like or agree with everything that's happened, but it does mean acknowledging our feelings and allowing ourselves to experience them without judgment. Another strategy is to create new meaning from the changes we're experiencing. As our relationship with the past shifts, we can find ways to honor those memories while also creating new ones that reflect our current reality. This might involve establishing new traditions, finding new ways to connect with the people or places we've left behind, or simply allowing ourselves to grow into the person we're becoming. It's also helpful to stay present-focused, even as we navigate these changes. Mindfulness practices can help us stay grounded in the here and now, ensuring that we're not getting lost in either the past or the future. By staying connected to the present moment, we can better adapt to change and find peace in the midst of transition. Remember that our relationship with the past is a dynamic one. It's always evolving as we move through life. It's okay for our memories to take on new meanings as we grow and change. What's important is that we continue to honor our past while staying open to the possibilities that lie ahead. Change is not just something that happens to us. It's something we can learn from, grow through, and use to deepen our understanding of ourselves and our place in the world. As we adapt to these shifts, we have the opportunity to redefine our relationship with the past in ways that enrich our present and shape a meaningful future. As we wrap up today's episode, I want to take a moment to reflect on everything we've covered. We've journeyed through the powerful role of nostalgia in our lives, explored how it can inspire creativity and personal growth, and discussed the impact of change on our relationship with the past. We've talked about the importance of letting go, staying present while setting future goals, and how to adapt to life's transitions with grace and resilience. Through all of this, the common thread has been about finding balance, honoring our past, embracing the present, and looking forward to the future with hope and purpose. Life is a continuous journey, and each of these elements plays a crucial role in shaping who we are and where we're headed. Now, I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in today. Your time and attention mean the world to me, and I hope that our conversation has sparked some thoughts, insights, or even inspiration that you can take with you into your own life. So, if you enjoyed today's episode, I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel so you never miss an episode. And if you found our discussion valuable, please hit that like button and share this podcast with others who might benefit from it. Your support helps us grow and reach more people who are on their own journeys of self-discovery and growth. Once again, thank you for being here with me today. Until next time, keep reflecting, keep creating, and keep embracing the journey, because the best is always yet to come. Take care, everyone, and I'll catch you in the next episode.